Alright, we're doing like 2. Yeah, I'm gonna have to change the weather just because I tried taking off just a second ago there, and it did not go well, so we're just doing clear skies. For the start, I'd say we'll stay fairly low. We'll stay at 1,000 feet because we're mostly going to be over water. So parking brake off, if I could. There we go. So I don't know if that means the parking brake is on or if it's off. That meant it was on. Don't turn into the building, please. There we go. Build up a bit of speed. Yep. There we go. Yeah, again, Dundalk is a stop on the Enterprise. Okay, change of plans. We're climbing a bit more. Just because we were a bit closer to that mountain than I would have liked. Getting over it will be fine, but yeah. That's Carlingford Lock there. See how positive here, and I'll see you once we get to Dundalk. And we're coming in over Dundalk now. Somewhere over there probably is the railway station and the bridge that brings the Enterprise across the river. Yeah, this area is fairly flat. We'll send down to 1,000, and later, once we get closer to Cashel and all that area, and probably even Carlow, we'll climb up, because we will be going. There we go. So we're going to Castle Bellingham. Interesting. Looks like I need to take a bit of manual control here, but that's fine. Because I still have the course indicator, I just don't know why the nav isn't following it. So yeah, see you at Castle Bellingham. Okay, we're about 1 mile outside of Castle Bellingham, or 1 nautical mile. So let's see where that is. If I could just... Yep, that's perfect. Yep, now we're into Drogheda. Cool, that's all looking good. Yep, I like it. There you go. That's going to be our next stop in about 10 miles. I'll see you there. Okay, now we're coming over Drogheda. This place is also a stop on the Enterprise. In fact, that there is the railway bridge, which I didn't realize would be 3D modeled, but it is. There's Drogheda. I've crossed over that bridge myself in a steam locomotive. Now we're going Knoll to Delvin River. Yeah, there's the railway station. So just a small turn. Yeah, it's just a small village there, and then after that we're heading on to Dublin. So see ya when we get to Knoll. There we go. Turn into Dublin. Celts. If there is a common denominator in this endless subjugation, it is the dark cloak of misery. Even when a redevelopment of the city began in the 18th century, when the streets were wide and the squares became lush and wide, the buildings later called Georgian appeared, and the legacies of the past centuries disappeared. Little or nothing changed for the mass of Dubliners. In 1801, with the Act of Union, the entire island was formally united with Great Britain. Dublin also lost its parliament, and, as if that were not enough, a dramatic century began, marked in particular by the Great Famine. Between 1846 and 1849, 1 million people died of malnutrition while another million sailed for the New World. To be quite honest, I believe that is on the low end. I believe it was much higher than that. Ireland still has not recovered from the famine, population-wise. And when the 20th century arrived, then the 20th century exploded with the War of Independence that raged from 1919 to 1921, which if you go back far enough was kicked off by the Easter Rising in 16, over the exclusion of the six North. No, that's not quite right. War of Independence was to get the Irish state, and then the Civil War was fought over the exclusion of the 6 Northern Irish counties. The rest of the century was a frantic search for stability and prosperity, which Dublin undertook with a unique spirit that combined its tradition with inexhaustible energy. To tell the story of Dublin's recent evolution, one could go back to 1972, when Ireland joined the European Economic Community, but almost immediately the global oil crisis delayed the determination of a positive economic situation on the island. It was the next generation that reaped the benefits of the European choice. From the early 1990s, Ireland and its capital city embarked on an economic recovery that produced impressive results. One figure in particular, unemployment fell from 18 to 3.5% in a decade. One of Europe's poorest nations became the Celtic Tiger, with an economy able to attract wealthy technology companies such as Google, Microsoft, and Facebook, thanks to substantial tax breaks. Ooh, that's a bit too far now. Despite years of serious difficulties following the 2008-2009 global crisis, Dublin has been radically transformed both socially and through new urban spaces. Even the city centre has changed its face, with the most famous example being the area on Temple Bar, west of Trinity College, which has gone from extreme dereliction to being home to art galleries, shops, restaurants, and theatres, making it one of Dublin's most fashionable areas and also a massive tourist trap. In contrast, along the Liffey, which flows into the sea, a few miles east of downtown, lights and modern glass and steel buildings hint at the hope with which this city looks to the future. Must see. The Halfpenny Bridge, topped... Oh, Jesus Christ, that's a lot. They are topped by three elegant lamps, joins the two banks of the Liffey. It is the capital's most famous bridge. Built of cast iron in 1816 and known by the curious name Halfpenny, which refers to the toll charged to cross it at the time of its construction, which is half a penny. That toll isn't in place. Pedestrian-only Grafton Street is the centre of the city's liveliest to get in touch with the authentic Dublin lifestyle. South of the Liffey, bustling with pubs, restaurants, and street performers, it is more than a shopping street. All of the capital's major attractions are within walking distance of this street, a must for tourists. In the pub with James Joyce, Dublin is a city of writers, but no one has chronicled it as well as James Joyce. The author of a fierce, inextricable critique, a tale of frivolities and misdeeds born of a deep attachment to the city. It was in Dublin that Joyce built his collection of short stories Dubliners 1914 and his masterpiece Ulysses 1922. But he did not just write about it, he lived in the city for a long time and frequented its haunts. He was a regular in the famous Temple Bar. They still have him there as a statue with a pint in his left hand and a book in his right. Dublin Castle, which is where we're heading. Also, we're just flying over Dublin Airport now. You can see the two control towers there. I'm surprised they haven't made this fully, new, whereas they did the same for yeah, that's the new North Runway there. They did the same for Cork. Dublin Castle. In a nation of medieval strongholds, this 18th century palace is not surprising in terms of architecture, but it was from here that the English ruled Ireland for 7 centuries. Official ceremonies such as the inauguration of Irish presidents are held here today. Heading west of you have Trinity College, the university founded by Elizabeth I in 1592, is thrilling. The monarch dedicated the college to education of young Anglicans, while another college already exists for Catholics. Until 1993, the college forbade access to Catholics, who in turn avoided enrolling until the second half of the 20th century. This university, one of the most prestigious in Europe, is a source of national pride. It is proud of its many famous alumni, including Jonathan Swift, Oscar Wilde, and Samuel Beckett. The college also holds precious treasures, including the Book of Kells, a beautifully illuminated gospel book dating from 800 AD, certainly one of the most valuable books in the world. St. Stephen's Green is a 9-hectare area in the city centre, beloved by the Dubliners. It has an interesting history. It covers a part of the city that was once used for public executions, then turned into a garden. Most of the buildings are date from that period, but the Shelburne Hotel, the city's most famous, which overlooks the park, dates from the 19th century. At the beginning of the century, the park was fenced off. Access was allowed only to those willing to pay a kind of annual subscription. In 1877, thanks to philanthropist Arthur Edward Guinness, great-grandson of the heir of the founder of the brewery of the same name, access became free. Christchurch Cathedral was founded in the Viking Age in 1030 and rebuilt. Its history is ancient, but the building that can be seen today dates from the 19th century. It is a controversial cathedral claimed by the Catholic Church as the seat of its diocese. Has never formally... St. Patrick's is the largest and most revered of its rank from National Cathedral in 1870, but without a bishop's throne, as the primate of Dublin was based in Christchurch. It was founded between 12th and 13th centuries on the site where St. Patrick baptized some cows with water from a well. The writer Jonathan Swift was dean of the cathedral, and his remains rest here. However, it was not until the 19th century that it underwent an extensive restoration that gave it its present form. That restoration was also paid for by the Guinness family. there we go. Now we're just flying down through North Dublin. Now this has got photogrammetry as well now. That's Croke Park there. That's the big GAA park. I believe this is the Grand Canal. And you've got train lines following it basically towards Sligo. That looks like a railway station, but I doubt it. Like, we're too far out to be in Houston. There's some form of church there. Or is that Houston? No, that's to the north of the Liffey, I believe. Unless... no, I don't think that's Dublin, Houston. Yeah, no, there's the Liffey. Sorry. Up there is Connolly. And follow this river along. Houston is down there. There we go. So we just overflew the castle. It's right below us down there. If you want to see a bit of a closer look, I landed a dune ornithopter there. Yep. We'll climb here because, well, if I go into the cockpit, you'll see. Also, I think he means artificial lakes. There we go. Climbing out as we fly over South Dublin. I can see lots of suburbs basically at this point. Yeah, see you at Blessington. Okay, we're near Knoll, wherever that is. Actually, let me just mixture a little. Still lean it out a little. Yeah, I think this is the whole Knoll village area. Just a moment. Okay, guys, this is us flying over. Oh, I can't remember the name of it. Blessington. Yep, there we go. The Blessington Lakes. That's not a highway. That's a national road. That's the beginning of our turn. These lakes are held up by a dam. There you go, there's us flying over Blessington. I wonder if you can see the big old mansion type thing that's here somewhere. Yeah, maybe you can, I just don't exactly know where it is. Yeah. I'll see you down at Baltinglass. Alright, we're getting very close to Baltinglass now. I believe that's it right there. That's Baltinglass there. Can't do it well. It is. In fact, if I'm correct, that over there is Mount Leinster. It also has now a technological university, previously an institute of technology. And I know this because that's where I studied. That's where I am a graduate of now. Yeah, I'll see you in Carlow. And here we are now over Carlow Town. I'm trying to place where we are because I'm not too familiar with this exact area. Okay, I know that that's the big shopping centre in town, I believe. That's the railway. That's the railway station there. Because it's shopping centre, Aldi. I lived on this street for a while. And that big area is the university. And that there is an Aldi. That's another shopping centre over here. Yeah, small left turn now. Just as we overflow the university. Yeah, that there is the hangar. All the other buildings. Yeah. Oh, they've even got the new building. That's still under construction. There you go, that's our next stop. I'll see you there. Alright guys, we're over Kilkeel now. Which is, in fact, just a tiny village. But then we'll be turning towards something interesting. The Rock of Cashel. There's another... Okay, 8 nautical miles, that's not too far. Okay, that is maintaining the same heading. Tipperary. Yeah, that's a spelling error. King of Munster. We're just going to descend a little. Yeah, arrived at Charleston 150 kilometres away after being converted. It was given to the church in 1101 to curry favour with the local ecclesiastical authorities. Many buildings were erected here over the centuries, but much of what remains dates to a period between the 12th and 13th century. The local Jules Cormac's chapel, dating from the early decades of the 12th century. In contrast, the Great Cathedral, built between 1235 and 1270, was used for worship until the 18th century. And in fact, well, not very clear, that's it, dead ahead of us. So I'll see you once we're a bit closer. Okay guys, now we're flying in over Kilkenny. Again, not super familiar, like I've been to Kilkenny, but it was mostly just in the central area. so I'm not sure what place is which and where. Again, it's the only large town in this area, so if this has to be Kilkenny. There's a small airport here, I'll give them that. There is a castle here somewhere in Kilkenny, but I don't know where. Oh. So I guess we'll see you at Killinall. Alright, well, we're near the Clonmel NDB, which is actually not at Clonmel, since Clonmel is a bit further back from there. After the Shannon, let me just leash. There we go. There you go. Yeah, so we're flying down. I assume that's meant to be the Rose Fitzgerald Kennedy Bridge. So hopefully we'll see that, and then afterwards we're coming into Waterford. So I'll see you then. Plane has decided that it is time to turn, so you can just see Cashel off to the side. But I think what I'll do for just a moment is disengage the autopilot and just fly her there manually. And then we can head towards Clonmel. Funnily enough, I did see the Rock of Cashel just recently enough. So I was just driving along the motorway and happened to get a decent view of it. Level. Full power. No. Let's not overstress this poor aircraft. Because I don't want to crash in the middle of this. In the middle of this trip. That would not be fun. Yep, that's the motorway that I was driving down. And that's us over Cashel. Definitely upping the engine power because we are... There we go. Clonmel, not Clonmel. Alright, there's the rock. See the round tower and all that in all its glory. More power. I believe it was said like the roof of the Grand Cathedral, the Great Cathedral in the middle of it was lost during the big wind. So it was called. Let's so yeah, see you at Clonmel, because after that we're heading on to, well, they're going to be talking about the River Barrow, but sure we'll see that soon enough. Alright, that's the Rose Fitzgerald Kennedy Bridge over the River Barrow. You can see they have recently updated this so you can actually see the route of the road now. I've actually driven over this a few times. Yeah, looks like it doesn't match up perfectly though. I assume it's just they didn't have the satellite data at the time they made this. You you can see that's almost just the texture as opposed to there actually being a road overlaid. Seems they just need to rotate that bridge a little. That is currently the longest bridge in Ireland. There is the longer railway bridge back here that's no longer in use. But this is the River Barrow. This is also what flows up through Carlow. There we go. There we go. Yeah. No, not County Munster, it's County Waterford. In fact, at the moment, it doesn't have any flights. And that's the last leg of this trip, so I will just wait until we're a bit close to Waterford Airport, and then I will see you then. Okay, guys, we're getting pretty close to Waterford. In fact, I think you should be able to see the runway dead ahead. We're a bit off to the side, but that's fine, that can be corrected. This is the grounds of Waterford Castle here. The town itself is over there, the railway station is there, and that is a railway line going over to Limerick and also to Words, they evade me, up to Dublin. Okay, now we're a bit too far to the left. I'm getting these weird rudder oscillations. I'm not a big fan of them. I'm going to start putting out the flaps just so we get a bit more lift. Also, despite, like I said, Waterford not having any commercial flights, there are like I've flown out of there in a little Technam, because that's also the base of Waterford Aero Club. Flaps full. Just a little bit more power. At least we're on a proper paved runway this time. Coming nice. Or a bit below glide step, so I just add a bit of power just because I don't want to stall and die. Would be nice to not have a massive lag spike while landing. Okay, we're properly down. Whoa. Just gentle on the brakes. Gentle on the brakes. A little bit too much throttle because it seemed the plane was getting ready to go. There we go. I'm curious what will happen if I just press on the brakes and stop here. Will it count it as me being in Waterford? Yep, perfect. I'll see you guys on the next leg.